Win the incredible Steigercraft 21DB Miami, powered by a Yamaha 200, in the ultimate season-long multiple-species subscriber-only fishing competition, the Fisherman's 2017 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Go to thefisherman.com and enter today. The Fishing News is brought to you by Okuma and The Reel Seat at 707 Union Avenue in Brielle. Everything you need for trolling and jigging inshore and mid-range pelagics like bonito, false albacore, Spanish mackerel, mahi, and school bluefin.
So you're looking for a way out of work this Saturday, maybe a free pass out of the obligatory honeydew list? Well, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie just proclaimed Saturday, September 23rd as, quote, Hunting and Fishing Day. So consider it your civic duty to go fish. I'm Jim Hutchinson with the New Jersey Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine here at Captain Hippo's Route 166 in South Toms River. And while the governor has given us a hall pass for Saturday, regrettably, he can't do anything about the weather. Offshore, in particular, as Jose moves its way off the coast of New Jersey and has whipped things up quite a bit along the coast. And it's a shame that Governor Christie can't help us with the weather, because we've got some good tuna action, as Captain Rick Warner would tell you. Of course, from the Hudson to the Baltimore Canyon this week, it is ugly. We're looking at 10 to 16 foot seas on Friday. It's going to subside 7 to 12s on Sunday. So all eyes are on next week. Hopefully things clear up a bit. And of course, we will continue to look at the weather forecast and check out spaghettimodels.com, keeping an eye on Maria, which is the next one swirling up the coast at this point. Again, it's sad too, because I just got an email the other day from Gavin Volkman, who told me the pelagics aren't too far off. He had this nice dolphin about 20 miles off Barnegat Inlet. He was dragging a black and purple tuna clone. A few chickens have shown up, Manasquan Ridge, also at Little Italy and Shark River Reef. That's what we found out during doing the reports this week for the Fisherman magazine from Jason over at Fisherman Supply. And of course, with this heave, there's no telling what's going to happen after it's through. Is it going to push them inshore? Is it going to push them offshore or scatter them around? We're not exactly sure. But what we do know, what happened 35 years ago this week in a big heave. Dave from Absecon Bay reminded me of that. September 21st, 1982. You remember this. Al McReynolds caught a 78-pound, 8-ounce striped bass on a jetty in Atlantic City during a stiff nor'easter during the mullet run. And yes, we've got the mullet running, and they are stacking up. And while we've got so much north wind this week, one time I checked the weather forecast earlier in the week, they were talking about a little bit of northwest winds overnight. That's what we really need, a little bit of northwest at some point to move some of that bait out the inlets, out along the beaches, and also cool the waters off a little bit. But if you are hoping that lightning strikes twice around that Absecon Inlet area, I would suggest you fish on the north side of Absecon Inlet along the Brigantine beaches. Check in with the Riptide Fall Striper Derby. That's underway now all the way through December. Andy Grossman at Riptide Bait and Tackle reminds me of that great contest. He also told me this week the Weakfish bite continues down around his shop. He had Rob Busby had a 3-pounder. He caught that in the back on a sabiki rig, catching some spot for the fall striper run coming up, and hooked up with that Weakfish. Folks, these fish have got to be worth targeting. Beautiful weakfish, and the folks that I've talked to that are targeting weakfish are doing pretty well, especially up in North Jersey, along the Raritan, Navesink, and Shrewsbury complex. You would expect in Barnegat Bay, all the way down through Great Bay and Absecon, just all the way down through Cape May County as well, and on the Delaware Bay. The weakfish, probably the one fish bag limit, keeping a lot of folks away from targeting those fish, but they are there gobbling on peanut bunker. In fact, I'm finding out more from my friends up in North Jersey that they are using the Kettle Creek swing shads and doing quite well with the weakfish there. As a matter of fact, last week we talked from the surf show out on Long Island. Well, I was talking to Captain Frank Wagenhofer from Fin Chasers Charters. He also manages Kettle Creek swing shads. These Kettle Creek plastics are phenomenal. They are local. Kettle Creek, right up the road here in Barnegat Bay. And those Kettle Creek plastics, definitely seek them out. Look for some of those plastics right now to throw at weakfish. And speaking of fin chasers, by the way, I hope to see that beautiful Buddy Davis Center console this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Jersey Shore Boat Sale and Expo. That's Friday through Sunday, First Energy Park, home of the Lakewood Blue Claws, right up the road. Make sure you look for the Fisherman booth. Look for Fin Chasers Charters, Captain Frank Crescitelli. If you don't see him at that show, you can also find him on cable television every Saturday on Destination America for his Fin Chasers TV show. Now, in addition to those beautiful weakfish, we're also finding out some big bluefish are on the prowl throughout Barnegat Bay. In fact, here at Captain Hippo's, Lenny was talking to me about it. Some guys right up here at Mathis Park are doing pretty well with the bluefish. We had an 11-pounder we had in last week, and he's using, some of these guys are using the Lenny's Lancet rig. It's really like a modified mullet rig, but just a piece of spearing on there. Guys soaking their baits right up the road, doing pretty well with the bluefish. Lenny tells me he's heard of some more striped bass in the back bay as well. Definitely time to start looking in the back. Now, out front, when weather windows allow, the porgy bite in Central and North Jersey is just simply spectacular. Boats like the Sea Tiger 2 up on the Raritan heading out front for some of those big hubcaps. Of course, a lot of the other party boats are looking at some of those false albacore and tasty bonita as well. So keep an eye on the weather. And also, I would encourage you to go back to thefisherman.com, go under the fishing reports section. We give you access to the Facebook and website pages for all of those advertisers. You can get in there, take a look at who's sailing this weekend, who's open, and who's running charters. But with this weekend, those heavy north winds and that good heave, my suggestion is to keep it tight, keep in lee, and stay out of that wind. But somebody's going to be catching fish this weekend. Somebody else is going to sit on the couch and complain about the weather. Somebody else is going to be catching fish. So which one are you going to be? The governor said it himself. Go fish. So do it safely, catch them up, and we'll see you here again next week at thefisherman.com.
Win the incredible Steigercraft 21DB Miami, powered by a Yamaha 200, in the ultimate season-long multiple species subscriber-only fishing competition, the Fisherman's 2017 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Go to thefisherman.com and enter today.